Yep.
Okay, cool. So, you have this graph here, and you have outlined a situation for yourself, and it kind of got me thinking about the 4-year you in different people's areas. So we just met with somebody, and they shared with us the different things that where they are right now and where they want to be for their goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after this first step, we've broken it down to the different quadrants, and I know we've got some blanks here and everything. It's not so much the specifics of each one of these line items, but the thing I wanted to discuss here is I want to pick one of these line items and look at this and kind of talk through some of the things that a client could anticipate with the euphoria, the knowledge, the dip, and then the of course the win or the success pertaining to their specific goal, not necessarily from a actionable. You know, if you're lifting weights, you want to do so much weight by such and such a time, but more of like a like we'll just pick one right here. So financial abundance being one of them, and currently they are financially stable, paycheck to paycheck, but they want to increase their revenue. They want to increase their savings account. They want to have financial abundance, and we can look at that as an example or a career example. But utilizing this graph, I'm curious to know what you think when it comes to the different seasons in correlation to the different seasons and what a person could anticipate with some of these goals.
Yeah, so what I'm wanting to highlight here is that not every season is created equal in terms of effort. Summer, by definition, is the grind. You're doing a lot of work. Winter, you're doing the least amount of work, but it's still necessary because that's the time when you imagine what you might want to do in spring and summer. And fall is also short because it's like the end of a movie. Like once you're done, you celebrate and it's over, and then you start again in winter. Spring is the one that's just a little bit wider than winter and fall because it's sometimes the preparation time is bigger, but once you move from prep into actual work, that's when this knowledge where you're at the top of the hill and you can see how much work you have to do, and that's where you have to make a choice where you say, I am willing to go through this valley to get to the other side, or no, I want to go back. And if you go back, then you reassess and then keep going forward. What some people do is they get in a loop, which this isn't a good thing. But the reason why people never graduate to the next season of their life is because every time they get here, they turn back. Because in this altitude training, you could be this blue line that keeps going up, or you could be the one that keeps going back to where you were before. If you find yourself in life always fighting the same battles, it's because you're not leveling up. You're staying with the same boss. It's like playing a video game and you keep playing the same level over and over and over. Until you could beat that boss, you don't go to the next level. Is that where you wanted to go with it, or I don't know?
No, this is good, and I think that it's good to be able to explain the risk, right? To be able, I would agree definitely that oftentimes people have these aspirations, these goals that are being crafted, and they start making some conscious effort towards that. And then when it comes to the grind, when it comes to the daily activities, when it comes to the blood, sweat, and tears, for lack of better words, right? And the challenge before you start seeing some of the wins and the successes and the dones, right? So where I'm curious is, let's pick one of these line items, and let's walk through this journey.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so you wanted to do, so in order for someone to go from weak financial stability to strong financial stability to abundance, they're going to have to change multiple things about themselves, primarily starting with their identity. And anytime that you have an identity change, it requires creating a new belief structure, looking for evidence to support it, and then acting accordingly. And that is very akin to creating new habits, which we know is difficult because the way the brain works, the brain wants to be efficient. It wants to do what it's always done. So to do something different creates more energy, conflict within the brain. The brain has to do work to become something different. So even internally in the brain, there's a process change here where eventually your new self becomes the default, and that's the easiest thing to be, is your new self. But before you're your new self, you're way over here. So like, I want to become someone different. I'm currently someone who's not financially abundant. I want to become someone who's financially abundant. The things that you'll have to do is, let's just map it straight on here. Winter, start a new identity. Believe that you can be someone different. Spring, start to look for evidence to support it. Summer, actually act like that new person until fall you become that new person. The reason why summer is so hard is because acting like someone you've never been before is like starting a new job, a new career, learning a new skill. It's difficult. It's hard. It takes time. But if you do things that are difficult, hard, and take time, eventually you become an expert at it, get good at it, and eventually really like it. It's not hard anymore. Have you ever heard people say things like, the first $1,000 I made was difficult, or the first $10,000 I made was difficult, or the first $100,000 I made was difficult, the first $1,000,000 was difficult, but to get from $1 million to 10 million was about the same amount of effort. Because to get from nothing to something is difficult, but then to get from the next thing to the next thing is a different type of difficult. It's all difficult, but it's relatively the same amount of effort. It's a weird way of saying it takes the same, it's hard to believe that it takes about the same amount of effort to go from 1 million to 10 million as it takes to go from 0 to 1,000. Because you have different structures in place, you have different asset classes, you have different organization, you have different amount of customers, and all kinds of things are different. But the process is the same.
I like it. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I appreciate it.
Yeah.